The catbird saws down the tree, beginning at the top.
Spring. Like a fence of twisted fingers, the dead willows surround this slough. Perched on these dark limbs, tree swallows and red-winged blackbirds shriek and kiss. Come here. Come to my finger.
Johnny Price. This was his last year hunting, they all knew. His hips arthritic, aim turned less than true. Early, his son and grandson bagged their limits, but John just looked at pheasants, cursed shots. Damn it. The morning clear and cold, his lungs, joints crying, made him forget how much he loved the sighing, rattling corn, the burst of sound in flight and brown gold pheasants flapping, blur of white his grandson's spaniel after through tall grass, sure never to let a wounded bird get past. Mid-morning beside the truck, warmed by the sun, they admired birds so skillfully brought down, none of them John's. So homeward, when a hen got off the road, John ordered, "Stop," and then gave that hen pheasant both barrels at 20 feet. Nothing left but drifting feathers, a direct hit. The truck was silent. John glanced back inside to see his grandson's eyes, wondering and wide. He stared off at the down above the ditch, cracked his gun open. "Take that, you son of a bitch."
What do you mean, standing around there in those raggedy-ass clothes, scarecrow?
Maybe the empty field in the snow, a kind of cry, must be a scarecrow.
Bald eagle. At the garage, the pair plotted and drank beer. If they could stuff the damn thing, they might get a couple of bucks for it. Can't eat it, though. Too tough. The chubbier of the two rummaged through the junk box on the workbench. Pliers, needles, leather, glue, and 2 greasy marbles for the eyes. They spread out part of last week's funny section of the Sunday paper, ripped the guts out of the dead bird. They belched and laughed, told stories about last Thanksgiving. They discovered an old moth-eaten flag, tattered and full of holes. With no bones, brain, or organs, the bird's one eyeless socket stared up at the rafters of the ceiling. They fumbled with their thick, drunken hands, stuffed the rag up into the bird. The taller hunter grabbed the 2 marbles and dabbed glue on each one. He took careful aim and jammed them into the sockets so they wouldn't come out. After propping up the bird with sticks and fishing line, they phoned the Royal Order of the Red Rottweiler. Sold it to them for close to $100. What a killing. They downed a couple of more beers. They yelled at their wives to take a look at the thing. The tall man's wife said it reminded her of a hat she once bought at Newberry's. She wondered where she had put it. The chubby man's wife said that it looked nice. Then she had to use the bathroom. At Rottweiler Hall, the bald eagle could be enjoyed by all. It was protected and preserved in a glass case. It looked lifelike next to the tin lake and the nylon pine boughs. The Royal Rots had gone to great lengths to preserve the creature, filling the glass case with insecticide to keep the bugs from getting at it.
Weird birds are everywhere. One bird, I don't know the name of, seems to be asking a question. I imitate it back and forth like electricity. We buzz and pause. So clear an eye cocks at me. I see the owl of Shangri-La, a cardinal of Eden, the canary of Nirvana, the crow of Utopia. In a flight of free fancy, I lift off like a loon. I soar like an eagle. I zoom like a nighthawk and land like a duck.
coo like pigeons, warble like warblers, cluck like chickens, and sing like starlings. I flock with all the birds of this whole flocking world. Maybe we want to look and see right into each other's eyes and learn by heart all the sacred words of the birds of paradise.
Letter from aboard the Djibouti-Addis Ababa train. Dear Fatihah, what thoughts we have are avatars. For instance, Adam, the young Somali sitting next to me, chews ghat, speaks freely in broken English and Arabic until the leaves draw him too deep to speak. Beyond the window stuck open, scrub stunted millennia by cooking fires continues to live, bristling with proud thorns. In Dir Edawa, as a young man, your father knew Somalis who swam rivers with knives clamped between their teeth, always an eye locked on crocodile, while their long bodies reached again and again through the water. In those days, even the sorriest excuse of a man wouldn't beat a woman, wouldn't gun an enemy in prayer until he'd said his last salam. After showing me all you have left of him, the few dog-eared photos, you disappeared for days. But I want you to know his stories live on. They are the red bee-eaters perched on the spines of cattle, and the cumbersome ibises folded onto branches. From them, I've learned to scan the tops of flattened trees. The train shifts into another thatched village, halts, surrendering a few minutes for the passengers to buy something for their arrival. Bound live chickens, sugar cane, and sacks of local produce pass through the windows. Sundown rumbles on blindly toward Nazareth, Addis. I can see the silhouettes of people trotting home from work, maybe hours of returning after earning a few birr. On the outskirts of the city where I turned around, a man spends his nights dangling meat from his mouth for hyenas. He's become a celebrity, earning a decent wage from tourists. But I wonder about the first time he seduced the odorous, locking jaws. Everywhere I look, I see destiny, spectacular destiny. See you soon. Love, Yahya.
The boy in the woods. He lived behind us half a mile through trees and wanted to be my friend, to teach me how to recognize each kind of bark or leaf, out stalking rabbits with bow and arrow. Then he showed me his pellet gun. The one time he took me back to his house, run down and gray among the leafless branches. The only color I remember was from a pile of wings. I had to look them up in my father's bird book at home. Oriole and tanager, blue jay, cardinal, goldfinch, mourning dove. And then I packed away my hunting gear for good. After that, I saw him only once at a game, sitting by himself in a corner of the stands, sighting an imaginary barrel at the players. Someone said he quit school when he turned 16. For years, each time I read the papers, I'd expect to see his name. And once, I even hiked back to find that house again. It was gone, and with it, most of the woods, devoured by subdivisions spreading from the highway. But there will always be that last time, the pile of wings he needed to show me, his helpless smile, and then his shrugging shoulders as he turned and walked away.